Okay, in that case, we will now go into our discussion of the Peninsula Health Alliance proposal. It's a little background. The public has read and heard about a proposed alliance between Jefferson Healthcare and Olympic Medical Center. It is true that we were considering such a proposal in the hope that we could work with our neighbors to help both of us thrive in this time of uncertain financial climate. There were other parties who also submitted proposals. Part of the proposal process was a confidentiality agreement that is typical in these circumstances and which we agreed to. 4 commissioners have complied with the agreement, 1 did not. We have lost our opportunity to develop the proposal into an actual plan, which we would have taken to our community for discussion before any commitment to the plan was made. That's the way this board has always operated, as we did with the 1995 and ESS buildings and our new project due to open in August. While the lone member brought allegations against the rest of the board and the CEO, we continued to honor the confidentiality agreement. However, due to the circumstances, we have been granted some relief from the agreement and can now speak openly. This section of today's agenda is our opportunity to do just that. To ensure fairness in the discussion, Commissioner Kolff has proposed a methodology he has used successfully in the past. As chair, I am now turning the meeting over to Case with the apology that the original, the format for his section is that I sent out originally is the draft, and he has sent out a new, a different one that is more detailed. So, but it's the same premise. So, Case, can you please take over? And
I would be happy to, Jill.
Thank you.
Thanks. And as Jill mentioned, when I saw that a discussion was on the agenda today, and realizing that many of us had many thoughts and comments that we would like to make, I considered perhaps a good format that we could use was one that we have used for many years at the Port Townsend Eco Village. This is a format that we learned when we adopted the governance style called sociocracy, and it includes the idea. So what I'd like to do now is have somebody read the letter just to make sure. Does everybody have the copy of the draft of the open letter to the public that Jill and I prepared?
Yes.
Does everybody have that? Okay. I think it would be worth reading it for the public record. Does that seem reasonable?
Yes.
Okay. Is there someone who would like to read it other than myself, so you don't have to hear my voice too often during this?
I think you do a very good job reading it, Case.
I think so too.
Because you're facilitating it.
Yeah.
Okay, you want me to read it? All right, good. So this is to the residents of East Jefferson County from the Board of Jefferson Healthcare regarding the allegations and misstatements by Commissioner Matt Reddy. Commissioner Reddy has accused his 4 fellow commissioners at Jefferson Healthcare of violating the Open Public Meetings Act, OPMA, with regards to its involvement in CEO Mike Glenn's preparation and submittal of a response called the Peninsula Health Alliance Proposal to Olympic Medical Center's request for proposals. We believed that we were in compliance with the OPMA when we held one executive session in February to learn about the real estate component of the alliance proposal. We had a second executive session in March to consult with our attorney, Brad Berg, regarding our decision to use an executive session, and that meeting was in March, and he believed that our decision could be justified. Because of Commissioner Reddy's charges against his fellow commissioners, our CEO, Mike Glenn, and attorney Berg, we are currently seeking a second opinion from another municipal law attorney in a separate firm. We believe Mike Glenn acted within his authority as CEO when he submitted an alliance proposal to OMC. At no time did he seek consent on either the content or request permission of the board. That's not what it says, but to submit the proposal during the executive sessions. It was also his right to seek private input from two individual board members early in the drafting process, and to invite two members to attend meetings with OMC later. In fact, OMC requested board members attend the joint meeting. These were not serial meetings because the roles of the commissioners were entirely different. At no time did he negotiate any terms with OMC. He simply presented the alliance proposal. As required by OMC of all RFP respondents, he signed a non-disclosure agreement, but at no time did he commit to bind Jefferson Healthcare to any other agreement or share real estate that was the initial justification. Oh, excuse me, I missed one part of that. Let me continue that. Commit to bind any other agreement. The alliance proposal clearly states that the Jefferson Healthcare Board would continue to have full control over its governance and assets. It could choose to sell, purchase, or share real estate, and that was the initial justification of an executive session in February. Sharing of services with OMC and/or real estate swaps and/or sales could be done through an agreement executed by the separate alliance board of 12 members, made up of both OMC and Jefferson Healthcare boards, where each entity, regardless of the different number of board members, had equal decision-making power. We were satisfied that 1, the independent authority over governance and operations of each entity would be preserved. 2, that if we were selected as a partner, any negotiations between OMC and Jefferson Healthcare would involve open and thorough community involvement. 3, that there would be no binding agreement of any kind without full community input and a public board vote. And 4, Jefferson Healthcare could benefit tremendously from such an alliance. In a retreat workshop of our Jefferson Healthcare Board in 2024, we hired Rex Bergdorfer from Juniper Advisory, the same person and company working with OMC, to give us an overview of how partnerships and alliances can be formed by public hospital districts. We knew that closer relationships with other healthcare entities would likely be necessary for financial stability in order to preserve our governance independence. With the now obvious challenges we will face with funding cuts at both the federal and state levels, this potential alliance seemed like a benefit for both Jefferson Healthcare and OMC for increasing our collective bargaining, purchasing, and contracting power, not to mention sharing of services to avoid redundancy. Commissioner Reddy accused us of silencing and muting him during several meetings. Using Robert's Rules of Order, some of us attempted to limit the time Commissioner Reddy was able to speak at board meetings. We were concerned that the more he revealed publicly what the rest of us thought was appropriately still confidential information, the more it would jeopardize the acceptance of the alliance proposal by Olympic Medical Center. Our proposal is no longer being considered, and revealing its content prematurely may have contributed to this lost opportunity. Jefferson Healthcare is a public hospital district. Residents in Jefferson County have the ultimate control over what we do when they vote for the 5 commissioners on the board. We have the hospital and many service clinics, and we are one of the very few healthcare entities in the state that did not lose money during the years of the COVID pandemic. Our success is mostly due to Mike Lynn's leadership focused on growth and expansion of services that our community needs. All of this at virtually no cost to the public, since annual property taxes pay for less than 1 day of the services we provide. We will definitely need to find more funding in the near future and explore more partnership opportunities. We will definitely keep the public appropriately informed as best we can. So that's the letter that is now open for consideration by the board. And I said that we would go around clockwise or alphabetically and counter alphabetically. So this time we'll go around counter alphabetically. And so we'll start with Commissioner Reddy. Oh, excuse me, and Mari, he has 1 minute to make any comments, share thoughts, or make a proposed amendment to the letter.
And you tell me when to start.
Yeah, go ahead and start, Mari. Thanks.
Okay. You guys can hear me?
Yes.
Well, if I'm just going to focus on the letter, when the letter says, we believe that we were in compliance with the OPMA when we held one executive session in February to learn about the real estate component of the alliance proposal. I did not when we started talking about that proposal, I did not believe we were in compliance, and I emailed
30
everyone
seconds.
on February 19th detailed details about not being satisfied, and also that's what the sheriff's report said, that there were OPMA violations, including that executive session, and that it looked like an unauthorized board action. Anyways, and I did not believe Mike Glenn had the authority to do this on his own. And I think the letter should say Mike Glenn submitted the proposal to OMC without any legal
I'm
board
afraid your
vote.
I'm afraid your time's up, Matt. Thank you. Next is Bruce McComas. And Bruce, are you ready? Okay, he's unmuted. Are you ready to go, Bruce?
I am. I'm going to talk fast. First of all,
Okay.
I think the letter's okay. There's some grammatical and some punctuation things that need to be changed. One amendment addition I'd like to add would be it's after you go through the numbered 4 things, but it would be the add in there that Mike Glenn mentioned this in the public strategic planning sessions this year when it was talking about he knew that closer relationships with other healthcare entities would likely be necessary. I mean, he talked about it, not in detail, but he mentioned that we'd be looking at potential alliances or partnerships.
So that is an amendment that you propose to the letter, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So could you read, since that is a proposed amendment, would you mind reading the wording to that one more time?
Yeah, and where I would put it would be in the one where you talked about Rex Bergdorfer, says we knew that closer, at the end of that sentence before it goes on with the now obvious challenges, it would be Mike Glenn mentioned this in the public strategic planning sessions this year. So before we ever got into the other, he mentioned that we would be looking at potential
Partnerships.
partnerships or alliances.
Great. So let's do a quick round on that proposed amendment. And why don't we continue the round where we left off, and then we'll take it from there. So I'll go next. We're going counter alphabetically, and I support that amendment.
Is that it?
And next would be Mari, and this, yeah, we don't have more
So-
than a minute to speak.
So can I ask you, Kay, so is that your 1 minute to speak?
Yes, that's that's a minute to speak on the amendment.
Okay,
Okay.
hang on a minute.
Everybody has 1 minute to speak on the amendment. I made mine quickly. And Mari, you're next.
I agree.
Okay. And next would be Jill. Jill, you're muted.
I agree.
Thank you. And then would be Matt Reddy.
No, I don't think that's a good amendment. It's not talking about this proposal, the Peninsula Health Alliance. It's a specific proposal that was submitted and that was never told to the public legally until today. I think a better amendment would be something like that Mike Glenn said there's nothing really to talk about when I said there was a significant proposal that's been submitted, or that Mari Dressler said it's airy-fairy and of no consequence. And Jill Buehler said there isn't anything concrete to say. And Bruce McComas said we just talked about some possibilities, when the truth was a proposal was sent to OMC and accepted into their second round. That's
Okay.
a better amendment.
All right. So this is the particular amendment that's on the floor. Since we've all had a chance to speak about it, let's vote on this particular amendment. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Opposed.
Okay. So I should ask Shannon, are you able to capture the wording on that and the location of that, Shannon?
I'm doing my best in the minutes, Case. Yes.
Thank you very much. All right. Good. And Bruce, if you could remember that as well when we get to that. Okay, so we are on we're on the regular round considering the letter. And Matt Reddy went first, Bruce McComas went second, proposed the amendment. I will pass on my turn. And Mari Dressler, it's now your turn for a minute concerning the letter.
I think it says what it needs to say, and I think it's accurate, and so I'm happy with how it is.
Okay. And then finally, Jill, do you have any comments or changes you would like to recommend?
Yes, I recommend a fifth sentence under, we were satisfied that on the second page.
Uh-huh.
To highlight the importance of what this could have been. And I would say this alliance could result in 2 independent medical centers providing a strong, viable healthcare system that allowed patients on the entire North Olympic Peninsula to receive excellent primary and specialty care without leaving our area.
Okay. That's an amendment that's on the floor now. And so we went counter. So let's go according to the alphabet again. So Mari, you're next. What do you think about Jill's amendment?
I support Jill's amendment.
Okay. I do as well. Bruce, how about you?
Yeah, I do as well.
Okay. And Matt, how about you? We're talking about the amendment now, please. And if you could stick to the question, that would be wonderful. You have another chance. You will have other chances to make amendments. But there's one amendment that's on the table.
Yeah, so I have a minute, right?
That's right.
Well,
So-
57 seconds now.
Yeah, so yeah, of course, an alliance could possibly be good if we worked out the details and didn't give Clallam a 7-5 majority, which I'll come back to later. I mean, yeah, an alliance could be a good thing. I mean, there's no guarantee this one was because we didn't have a process in which we could actually refine it and work it out to make it a balanced, healthy alliance proposal because we didn't ever have a public discussion where we could actually ask questions and talk about it.
Okay, thank you. I think that's everybody with regards to this particular amendment. So we'll vote on amending, putting number 5 in there as Jill has read it. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
Okay. So I think we have now gone through the first round. So now we'll start a second round, again, considering the letter. And again, people are urged to see if they would like to either add something or subtract something, or change the grammar or punctuation, which can always be done later, but let's look for substantive changes. And this time we're going to start with you, Jill. Do you have another amendment or thought you would like to add to this?
I have some definite thoughts, but they don't agree with this letter. I mean, they're not inherent in this letter. So I bring them up at this point.
Well, you're certainly welcome to make any thoughts about this proposal. You know, so this is, let me just clarify, Mari, for a sec in terms of the timekeeper. You're allowed to make any statements that have bearing on what other people said, even though, and the rest of us could use that if we want to use it to strengthen or do something different with the letter. So something that may or may not be in the letter, you're certainly welcome to comment on.
Okay, then I will.
Go ahead, Mary.
So Jill is speaking currently.
Yes, and she's got 1 minute, starting now.
I refute Commissioner Reddy's suggestion that there was criminal intent and that they actually found that we had disobeyed, that the sheriff's office had found that we had disobeyed the Open Public Meetings Act. That is just not true.
Are you wanting to make an amendment to add that to the letter somewhere?
Well, we don't address that in the letter, so
Well,
I don't
we
think
we can add things to this letter if you'd like. So,
okay, I will say, I will come up, okay. I could come up with a with a sentence.
okay, on the next round, if
Next
you'd like to
round.
do that. Okay, good. So this round next goes to Mari.
I do have, there's nothing in there that, oh, hang on a minute, I better start it. There's nothing in here regarding the effect this has had on the procedure for OMC, and I think it's harmed our relationship with OMC, with their board of commissioners, maybe their residents as well as their CEO and their other leadership staff. What has happened by one of our commissioners disclosing information that was supposed to be confidential. So I don't have any format or any dialogue to give you right now, because especially doing this, but I think it would be nice to have something in there that it's regrettable that this incident has caused a rift, if you like, because we always got on well with OMC. They've helped us out with our infusions and other things over the time when we've needed help. They've helped us, and it's ruined I think our relationship, or it's certainly put a great stress on that relationship.
Okay, perhaps on the next round, so you can come up with a brief sentence to that effect while you're timekeeping. I appreciate your willingness to do that.
It's lucky I brought my timer from my kitchen.
A good idea. All right. So I'll go next, and my amendment would be along the lines of what Mari has suggested, which is that we regret that the early disclosure of the content of our alliance proposal to OMC may have caused significant
Angst, distress
for OMC and for their citizens and their residents, and hope that we can mend some of that in the near future. So let's do a quick round on that amendment. And if the wording isn't quite right, when we do the round, you can suggest a minor modification, and then we could vote on that. So for this round, let's see, we're heading in this. So Bruce, you're the next one on this round.
So this is
an amendment. This is a proposed amendment to the letter that we're sending to the community.
Okay,
again,
but
yes.
but what you were talking about.
Right. So what I just said that we
Okay.
regret. So this is a letter from the board.
Okay, I'll pass.
You'll pass. Okay.
Yes.
Matt, ready?
I mean, I hope you guys will reflect on how you could have handled this differently. So to avoid this, you're trying to say that I somehow did something wrong, but if this had been handled correctly, then me just speaking the truth about this proposal would not have been, shouldn't cause any disruption to a legal, valid process. Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure this is bad for OMC, and it's bad it was handled so poorly. There's a right way to do this, and you guys need to figure out what that is. And moving forward, we need to do things correctly and legally. And the sheriff's report says it seems likely that the actions violated the Washington State OPMA. The actions likely violate the OPMA. That's what the sheriff's report said.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Jill, back to you on this latest amendment to the letter expressing regret.
I support that. I support your amendment.
And Mari, do you support the amendment?
I support it because it's pretty much what I said, so I think it's great.
Good.
I'm not going to add any more dialogue to that.
Say that again.
I'm not going to add any more dialogue to what you said, or at least maybe polish it a little bit, but no, that's perfect.
All right. So let's take a vote on this amendment. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to figure out where we were here. It was Mari and then Case. So we're finishing a round, I believe, that still has Bruce to speak on this round regarding the letter.
Okay, so because a part of the claims, they're unsubstantiated claims that Matt made that are referenced at the start, I have an addition I'd like to make to the letter.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where it would go. It might go after the first paragraph. I don't know where it talks about his. And it would say, any violations of the board's code of conduct, OPMA's rules regarding executive session confidentiality, and possibly 2 RCWs were committed by Commissioner Reddy himself.
Okay. Thank you. Let's do a round on whether we accept that amendment or want to change it. And we're going in order here. So Matt, you're the first one who gets to reply to that.
Yeah, I mean, our fiduciary duty to tell the public if an illegal proposal has been submitted on behalf of Jefferson County without a legal board vote overrides any executive session or any non-disclosure agreement any of you signed. I mean, a non-disclosure agreement doesn't prevent you from telling the truth to the public and doing your fiduciary duty and telling people, answering questions. This NDA and the secrecy of the executive session doesn't hold once you email a proposal to another place. That breaks the executive session once you've sent the proposal out. So it wasn't even covered by executive session. Anyways, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Jill?
I support that. I support Bruce's
Amendment.
amendment.
Okay. Mari, you're next.
I do support that amendment.
Okay, and I do as well. So let's have a vote on Bruce's amendment and we'll figure out where it goes at a later date. All in favor of the amendment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Thank you. And so then I think at this point, we're ready to do one more round. If I'm not mistaken, I'm hearing something funny. Can you all still hear me? I was hearing an
Yes.
echo. All right. So I think at this point, we're ready to do one more last round. And again, it will include some other little rounds if there are amendments. And this time we'll start with Matt Reddy and we'll go up the alphabetic order. Matt?
Well, something I just wanted to clarify is I'd be willing to go under oath for anything I've said today or anything I've ever said. And I really wonder if the rest of you would do the same thing. When this letter says at no time did Mike Glenn seek consent on either the content or request permission to submit the proposal during the executive session, that is completely untrue. I asked Mike during the executive session, are you looking for some sort of approval today? You all heard him say yes. There was a bunch of strategic leadership there. If you guys ever had to testify under oath to this, I really wonder if you would take your oath seriously and tell the truth about what happened.
Okay, thank you. Then we go to Bruce.
I don't know how, I don't have anything else to add to the letter,
Okay,
so I'll pass.
okay, thank you. Then it goes to me, and again, I'm just thinking if there's something that should be in the letter that basically says that the prosecuting attorney for Jefferson County basically threw out or closed this case after the sheriff had sent his opinion to the prosecuting attorney. So, you know, Matt's claim that the sheriff's office, what do they know about OPMA and public hospital districts, said that we were in violation, sent that on to the prosecuting attorney, who basically said, I'm not going to deal with this. This is not our bailiwick. This is not our area. And he closed the case. So I think that sort of closes off that whole argument. But I don't think I have anything else to add to the letter. So from there, we go to Mari.
So can I ask you from that statement you just made, Case, is that
Yeah.
you want that to be, you think that that is relevant, and should it be in the letter? I don't just it could well be in the letter, because
It could be.
because Commissioner Reddy still maintains the sheriff's office said that we possibly did violate the Open Public Meetings Act. And so therefore it would be as well, if he's still going to maintain that, to be able to refute it, because I don't believe we did.
Right. Well, if you would like to, I didn't make that as a motion to add to the letter, but if you would like to make that, or if Jill, she's the last person up, would like to propose that as an amendment, we could do that.
Well, I'm running
Is
out
it-
of time now, as I've got 2 seconds to go, so I'll leave it to my colleague.
Okay.
Okay, I have two amendments. One, Commissioner Reddy's allegation of any criminal action of this board of or the hospital district is absolutely false.
Okay, that's one amendment. And what would be your second one? Or
A passing vote of the alliance would be a majority vote of each board. That addresses the inequality of the number of board members it would require. And we had already thought of that there is a way to do that. And I think we mentioned that in one of the meetings, that it would require a majority vote of each board for anything that the alliance passed.
I think the term was a super majority. Yeah.
Well, I think
That's different.
I think that's those are two separate amendments. So technically, I think we can only take one of those. Would you prefer to do the first one?
Yes.
The second one is referred to in the letter. All right, so let's go for this. So could you read the first amendment that you first made?
Commissioner Reddy's allegation of any criminal action against this board, by this board or the hospital district, are completely false.
Okay, so that's
Reddy's
the
allegation of any criminal action by this board or hospital district is absolutely false.
Okay, Mari, what are your thoughts about that amendment?
I support that amendment.
Okay, I go next, and I would like to add to that amendment that something to the effect, and the local prosecuting attorney has, I'm not sure I want to say has confirmed that. Well, let's leave that out. I think that gets too, so I'll support the amendment the way it is, because I wouldn't want to overquote the action that the prosecuting attorney made or said when he basically closed the case or did not take it up. So then we go to Bruce.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Joe's saying. I mean, everything else is unsubstantiated. The only person who actually has come out and said that there was a violation is Matt himself, and he's not an attorney.
Okay. You do have another half minute if there's anything more you want to say.
No, I don't want to. No, I'm good.
All right, good. And Matt, you're the last one on this particular amendment.
Yeah, I mean, I did not I sent in a criminal complaint, but that was for them to investigate whether or not there were crimes. So what they said was, it seems likely that the actions described may violate the Washington State Open Public Meeting Act with potential civil penalties, but criminal charges are less certain and would need further investigation. They said their research suggests possible official misconduct, a gross misdemeanor, is possibly an appropriate charge, but it would take, you'd have to prove criminal intent. I mean, so yeah, it may not be criminal, but they recognize the wrongdoing. They recognize the deception and the coordinated conspiracy to deceive. They say the evidence leads towards unauthorized board actions and suppression of transparency, raising concerns about public trust and governance. That's what our sheriff determined after looking into all the documentation.
Okay, thank you. So there's a motion on the floor. Let's take it to the vote. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed?
Nay.
Okay. So so now we should take a vote on the full letter. And I think we've had enough rounds. So why don't we just vote on the letter? All in favor of making this the official letter to the community from the Board of Jefferson Healthcare, please signify by saying aye.
Could I ask
Yes.
a question first, please? So because you have to wordsmith a couple of things with the commission disclosure has interrupted our relationship with OMC. Are we going to get a second look at it with any grammar and all that stuff done before it's?
Sure, then let's vote on accepting this letter as is with appropriate grammatical, punctuational, and other minor wording changes that continue to
Don't
convey,
change
that continue to convey the intent and the basic content.
Thank you. Yeah.
So that's my proposal for us to vote on. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Madam Chairperson, I think I have finished. I think I